Days after causing devastation and killing at least 67 people in the Philippines, Typhoon Vamco has made landfall in Vietnam. Vamco had already weakened when it hit, but still caused serious damage and injured several people.
Picking up the pieces, quite literally, in the northern Vietnamese city of Hue. The storm destroyed many buildings there, blowing off roofs and uprooting trees. It lost strength since moving on from the Philippines, but still caused significant damage. The authorities prepared people for the onslaught as the storm approached, evacuating nearly 650,000 people in coastal areas to higher ground. Vamco is the latest in a series of storms to cause disruption and misery in Vietnam. At least 159 people have been killed in floods and landslides in the last 6 weeks. In the Philippines, Storm Vamco has exacted a heavy toll, with a high number of casualties, especially in the north of the country. Authorities are now assessing the scale of the damage. Some communities are describing it as the worst flooding in 4 decades. Many villages were swamped, crops destroyed, and hundreds of thousands left without power. As in Vietnam, the Philippines has also been battered relentlessly by storms over the last 2 months. Vamco is the 8th to hit the country in the last 8 weeks, and the 21st this year. But for all the drama of the last week, the hope in the Philippines is that the worst is over, at least for now, until the next storm hits.
And joining me now is Dr. Omero Paltan from the University of Oxford. A part of Dr. Paltan's research includes climate change and its impact on communities. Dr. Paltan, welcome. What is causing these increasingly devastating storms in the region?
Yeah, thank you very much for having me here today. So, I think there's a connection with climate change, while the direct, link has not been yet quantified. I think that we have to have it clear that as global temperature increase, so do ocean temperatures. So, and then warmer oceans are expected to aggravate the intensity and impacts of tropical storms, as we are seeing now. I would also like to make it clear that unfortunately the connection between climate change and frequency of storms is not very strong yet.
So when you say that the ocean waters are warming, what you're essentially saying is that storms in the future are going to get more powerful?
Yeah, indeed. That's what climate science is telling us at present. So we have, we're expected to see in the coming years storms more intense. But it's also important to see that we would also expect to see changes in the global water cycle due to climate change, or basically the way that it rains. So climate models and climate science for the region in generally agree that the region will be expected to see more floods for more intense precipitation events, not just from tropical storms. So, I think this has been very evident during these last months, where we have seen a very intense or unusually strong monsoon season. I would also like to express that even though we're expected to see more flooding, people should not be surprised if in the next years or if in the next year we just see a monsoon season that is relatively weak or rainfall comes late. In general, I would say that climate change means a more variable and a more unexpected climate patterns.
Right. In terms of these unexpected climate patterns and storms getting more powerful, what does this mean for people? Is there any preparation that governments and communities can do to avoid the devastation from these storms?
Yeah, definitely. So in general, there should be overall integrative strategies that should look at enhancing the resilience of not just infrastructure systems as traditional dams, dikes, green infrastructure as in mangroves, forests, etc., but also strategies to look the resilience of communities, of people. So that means that people should get used or adapted to more of these unexpected, again, water or climate patterns. And then at a greater scale, I would say that institutions at the government level, local or national levels, should be more prepared to face this type of challenges.
We'll leave it there for the time being. Dr. Omero Paltan from the University of Oxford, thank you.